friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So today we have another horror stories and experiences. You guys know I've been doing this series literally since I started doing any sorts of anti-MLM content, so I'm super excited to keep this series going. If you have a horror story that you would like to share with me, whether you were in an MLM, you talked to an MLMer, or whatever it may be, you can send it to my email. I have my email always in the description box, guys. Sometimes I'll get comments like what email to send it to, and all you have to do is click on the little arrow under this video and it'll be right in the description for you. So let's get into today's horror stories. I just had a whole iced white chocolate mocha, so I am good. I am ready to go. I am hyped up and I have my drink, my water. So let's get into it. I try to also pick MLMs that I haven't really heard about. So you guys know I never read my horror stories ahead of time. I never open up your email. I never read it before. I read it here on camera, so my reaction can be a reaction with you guys. But what I did, I tried to look at the subject line whenever the email is sent in, and these were MLMs that I haven't really heard about before. So let's get into it. This one says, "Hey Deanna, I've been needing to send you this email for a while. My name is Laura and you can use my name. Thank you for doing what you do. I used to be in MLMs for over 40 years. Starting in my 20s with Tupperware. I was actually happy with Tupperware, so much so that as each daughter left home, I would give her all of my Tupperware and sign up again to get new stuff for myself. Back when I was with them, they actually paid for the car and your car insurance too. They would repossess the car if you didn't maintain your ring. I also sold Jafra Cosmetics. I don't think they're an MLM anymore, but they are still in business. I also sold Christmas Around the World, Party Light candles, and Jamberry nail wraps, which got sold 3 times in 2 years. And every time they sold, our commissions went down. That was my last MLM, and then I came upon Savannah Marie, and the rest of you guys, what an education. I love Savannah Marie, by the way. You guys should totally go check her out, even though I feel like all of you guys probably have already checked her out if you're watching me. She's amazing. She goes, I wish someone would have told me all of this when I was your age. I'd probably be rich. I'm in the minority in that nobody ever tried to recruit me. I actually sought them out. If I liked the product, I did it for the discount and to get away from my kids in the morning. Don't judge, there was 5 of them. I just wanted a hobby. My horror story is about Party Light candles. To this day, I really love the candles, so I do buy them off eBay, or if my former upline has a clearance in the online outlet. I had attended a party and wanted the candles at a discount, so I approached the consultant, who seemed surprised. She didn't even do a join my team speech at her parties because she was also doing it as a hobby and didn't want to be pushy. I really enjoyed the home party business model where you could show off and demonstrate your products. The whole thing about doing it online without being able to touch, smell, and experience the products is sad to me. I came from a simpler time when ladies would get together. We had more time back then. I had been doing it for years until I noticed the quality of the candle holders was going downhill. You could buy nice candles and holders at Big Lots, Marshalls, etc., and was thinking about quitting. My ex-husband's mother passed away, and his first wife, her name is Jill, and I got together to kind of honor our mother-in-law. She was at my house, and I decided to light some candles in her honor. Jill was impressed by the fragrance of the candles, and I told her I sold them, but no pressure. She decided she wanted to do a party and purchase some herself. Great. I also never push people to join under me because I was under the impression that I need to nurture a team, and with a full-time job, just didn't want to invest that kind of time. Next thing I knew, Jill wanted to sign up, which was all right with me. Party Light had a policy, nowhere is/was this in writing, I would find out later, where if an item arrived broken, they didn't want the broken glass back. You just reported it broken and they would replace it for you. No questions asked. I thought it made sense to not want broken glass. Things are packaged really well, so I had only received broken pieces 2 or 3 times in about 6 years. Jill had a party, so she used her host credits towards her kit. I think the kit was $99 and you got about $350 worth of product plus all the marketing materials to get started. We ordered her starter kit, the money was deducted from her checking account, and we waited. A week or so later, she called me. Her kit had arrived and she wanted me to come keep her company while she unboxed it, so I went to her house. It was a huge box, and we heard some clinking. We opened the box, and I don't know how or why, but just about every piece of glass that was in the box was broken. I called my upline to confirm we should throw everything away. She told Jill not to worry about it, just throw the stuff away, and she would order her a new kit. 2 weeks went by and nothing. Then Jill got an email saying that in order to process her new kit, they would send her a shipping label so she could send back the broken pieces to them. Jill got a little bit hysterical, as you can imagine. I called my upline and she called Party Light, and they told her that they would need the broken pieces back. Of course, the garbage had been collected for that week, but seriously, who wants to go digging through garbage for broken glass? Jill told me not to worry about it, and we went to her bank. Chase Bank, they're fantastic. I changed to Chase after this. And she explained the situation. Chase Bank reversed the charges, but asked us to show the policy of not wanting broken glass. This is when I found out the policy wasn't in writing, but we put them in touch with the upline and Jill was not charged. Party Light sent her a nasty letter, basically calling her a thief. We had a private Facebook group for consultants only. I didn't say anything on my personal or business page, but in the consultant only group, I vented because I was very upset that my friend had been treated this way and I had lost a recruit and I didn't feel it was fair at all. Several consultants expressed sympathy and confirmed that they had never had to send back broken pieces. It just felt good to get off my chest. 3 days later, I got a call from Party Light. They were canceling my contract because I had expressed negativity. Oh, hell no. I told the person on the phone that they could check out my personal and business pages and that I had not expressed anything publicly, just in a private group. This is when I found out about toxic positivity. Sorry this was so long, but the whole toxic positivity thing is so weird. I had 3 parties scheduled with friends. I had to call them and ask them if they wanted my leader to do them. I would have just told them a story, but I told my hostesses the truth. So Party Light lost about $700 to $900 in sales that month by firing me. Thanks again for educating about these predators. Let me get comfortable for this one. So all in all, I find that really messed up. And it again really shows that you can legitimately get fired from these MLMs for doing just about anything. They can cancel your account if they want to. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to warn you. A lot of the times they will send you just a stupid email that says, oh, we're canceling your account because this, and this. But I just find it so messed up because truly, if this individual who sent me this, if she was a huge distributor, right? Say she quit her job. Say, she had her 5 girls, or did she say they were all girls? Well, she had 5 kids. And she quit her job for this MLM because she was making enough money in it, and then they cancel her account without notice. I just find that really messed up when a lot of people look at these MLMs as their business. While we all know, people in the anti-MLM community, we know it's not their business. But when they truly believe it is, and then their accounts get shut down, I find that just beyond messed up. And I wonder now, does Party Light have in their terms and conditions or their contract that you are not allowed to speak out negatively about the MLM? Personally, I don't feel like I've seen an MLM do that. I have read plenty of terms and conditions, and I have never read one that says you can never express your opinion or you can never express negativity. I have heard some people say that, like they can't express negative things about their MLM or whatever it may be unless they're out of it. But that just makes me really curious. Like, is that even in their terms and conditions? All in all, I think it's really messed up. They're clearly the ones who sent messed up candles. They sent candles that were broken, and they should replace them, not get mad and send the other girl a nasty email for getting her money back when she went to her bank, because that's what I would do. I would literally go to my bank and be like, no, you're giving me my money back for this because everything came back broken. I can't use it. It would be like you ordering, for example, from Gymshark, right? Or athletic wear company, and then you get your package in the mail and all of your clothes have holes in them. But then the company says, no, we won't refund you, even though it came that way. Oh my God, that's just craziness. I find that really messed up that they would cancel her account for talking in a private group about it. I don't know, I feel like when I was in my MLM, if we had a problem with something, we would talk about it in private groups and nothing ever happened. That just means someone's a snitch. Someone's a snitch. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one says, hi Deanna, my name is Ola. You can use it in the video. I've watched your channel for some time already and you're my favorite anti-MLM creator. I just love your personality. Thank you. She says, I never joined any MLM, and this story is not horror, but more of an experience. But maybe it will be interesting for you and your viewers. It's the story of how I dodged the bullet. First MLM that I was approached about was FM World. It was founded in Poland, but I guess they also work in different countries too. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Girl that I knew from choir wrote to me on Messenger one day to ask me about my number because she wanted to talk to me about something. It was a bit weird to me that she didn't want to explain anything on Messenger, just that it's a business proposal, but insisted on calling me. But I was intrigued enough to finally give her my number. As I remember, she was still telling me that it's a business that could get me some extra money, but didn't want to give away any details. When I asked if it's about selling something, she assured me that I wouldn't have to sell anything, but still couldn't explain where money comes from. She wanted to meet me in person and give me some materials about the business. It was a small book which explained what multi-level marketing is, but still nothing about where money came from. It was so bizarre for me to read about this way to sell products in your network of friends while she told me it's not about selling. I figured they have to get money somehow from recruiting people if they didn't sell anything, and I knew that I would have to create a big network to earn anything and couldn't imagine myself doing that, especially when I knew they would have to do the same. I gave back the book and declined. Plus, for her, that she took no for an answer and didn't nag me anymore about it. But at the end, she asked me if I don't want to join, then maybe I would like to buy something from her catalog. Well, I thought it wasn't about selling. Sometimes I regret that I declined so fast and didn't get more information. In the end, I think that if she wouldn't make this mistake with telling me it's not selling, or if I wouldn't have a fine job at the time, I would have joined. The second approach I had just 2 months later from my friend from high school. We were seeing each other at parties from time to time, but we're not in touch for real. He just called me on my birthday, and after quick wishes, he asked me if I don't need to earn some extra money, or if I do need to earn some extra money. It was an alert for me since I had just the experience with the previous MLM. It was about application cashback. I never heard of that. That's supposed to give you some discounts and some cash back if you buy in specific shops. The idea was interesting for me and I would consider using it, but in fact, he started to push for me to join his team so I could get even more money. He sent me a video from the founder who was bragging about how rich he got from this marketing network. My friend was telling me how this opportunity can change my life, make my dreams come true, and all of this BS. It's a shame our conversation is in Polish. I could have sent you some screenshots. He is really persuasive and charismatic, and I wouldn't have that previous experience. Maybe he would have been able to convince me to join, but I already knew that it's a pyramid scheme. So I declined firmly, and that was end of discussion. Oh, found out from another friend I know that he's already out. Thank you for what you do. It's informative and entertaining. I'm sure you've saved some people from MLMs already, and keep up the good work. P.S. When I was reading this to check mistakes, I had your voice in my head. As she said, in her first interaction with the person, she was told it's not about selling. And I really do get frustrated with that because you are selling something. Like if you're an MLM, you're selling a product. Like what's so wrong with saying you're selling a product? Because like she said, when you go about it, just trying to like recruit somebody, you say, oh, we don't sell. It's nothing about selling. That's when something looks like a pyramid scheme. That's when people perceive your MLM as a pyramid scheme because you're not wanting to sell the product. You're not trying to be forthcoming and state, hey, we sell products. If you like this product, would you think about, selling it with me? Instead, they recruit, and then she tried to sell her a product. And I also feel that recruiting is also kind of like selling. If you're not good at speaking, if you're not good at public speaking, if you're not good at social media, you're not going to do the best when it comes to recruiting people. And that's totally okay if you're not a people person and you're not willing to be out there on social media, or you don't have a bunch of friends and family to recruit. I wouldn't recommend joining an MLM. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it anyways, but I really wouldn't recommend it if you don't have a social media presence or you're not really good at that public speaking, because you're not going to do well. You have to reach out to people. You have to sell the lifestyle, or you go about it in the way where you do sell the product, person falls in love with the product, then that person ends up being a recruit because now they want to sell that product. But all in all, you're either selling the product or you're selling this lifestyle. You're selling the recruitment aspect of it. So either way, you're selling something, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's the actual product, you're selling something. You're selling this lifestyle, this dream to somebody. So I don't know why I wasn't selling. And then the second person kind of went about it wrong too. He wanted to recruit you, and yeah, not about it. But there are a bunch of apps out there. There are great apps. I think Ibotta is one of them. There are amazing apps out there that you can use when you go to stores and stuff like that. So that's kind of what this sounds like. If this is an actual MLM, I've never heard of it before, but if that's an MLM, there are ways to do that online, like Ibotta. I know a couple of different apps, can't think of all of them off the top of my head, where you can use it online, you can use it on Amazon, you can use it at normal stores, and you can get cash back if you buy through the app. So I think that's a great way to save money. It's a great way to get cash back when purchasing. I'm horrible and I don't do it as often as I should, but there are apps out there that are very similar to that, so you can earn money back on purchases. So I definitely recommend that, especially if you're buying from a really big company or you're buying a really big item. Like say you're going to buy a couch at Walmart and this app will give you 3% cash back on Walmart items. That's a lot of money you're going to get back if your couch is super, super expensive. So that is something to look out for, but yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that MLM. So let's move on to the next one. Ooh, this one says MLM horror story. What was I thinking? And she put it in caps. So it is going to be a good one. And all of these people today don't care if I use their name. So she says, Deanna, my name is Chloe. Feel free to use my name. I live in Scotland and currently work in the care sector. I have recently came across your YouTube channel and I'm hooked. Keep fighting the good fight. She says, my horror story begins when I was 18 and in college. I'm now 23. Like most college students, I was short on money most of the time and decided to get a part-time job. After looking on job sites, I came across a company I had never heard of, but I forgot the name. They were advertising wages at $400 a week. Like any 18-year-old would be, I was interested and pretty excited at the thought of that much money. So I applied. That was my first mistake. Within an hour, I got a phone call asking me to attend an interview, so of course I went. The office was in the city and I lived 30-minute train ride away. Train tickets aren't cheap here, so I was using that little bit of money I had for this opportunity, which was my second mistake. The interview was very strange, in a building that seemed off. Not an office, but big empty rooms with speakers. It was very odd. During the interview, the boss, let's call him Dave, told me that he had 50 people to interview and could only hire 3. So I thought I had no chance. During the interview, he didn't really explain what the job was. But silly 18-year-old me was just thinking about the money. Dave told me that I would be perfect for the team and I would be able to work my way up to team leader and even manager next to him. That didn't sit right with me, but again, my mind was on the $400+. The next day, I got a phone call and the job was mine, and I accepted. Third mistake. My first day was very odd. I got to the office at 7 a.m. and there was music blasting everywhere, and I was teamed up with 2 guys. I was told they would be my mentors for the day. So after some motivation BS with the music, it was time to go to our stations. I had no idea what this meant. So I followed the 2 guys I'm with and we stopped at a podium in the middle of the street. This is our station? Oh no, our job was to approach people on the street and sign them up for different charities. I later found out the charity only got 25% of the donations. Basically, one of those annoying salespeople who chase you down the street begging you to sign up for random stuff. I was shocking and felt uncomfortable. This wasn't what I was expecting, but I decided to stay for the day and see how it was. My 4th mistake. It was horrible. Keep in mind, this was in November in Scotland. It was freezing, and of course people didn't want me annoying them on the street. It was also commission only. I ended up sticking it out for 3 weeks, spent so much money on trains back and forth, well over $150, which I had to borrow from my parents, and only made $30 the entire time. They promised me the world, and I got nothing. I know this is a bit different to your normal MLM horror stories, but I still thought it was worth reading. Thanks for reading. It was worth reading because I wish I knew who this was. So first off, the whole donations thing, that kind of ticks me off a little bit because I know there are big companies who use those type of scams where they will say, oh, donate or round up to the nearest dollar and we'll donate that money. But in all actuality, a lot of times they'll take a cut of that money. So if you are donating money to stores or rounding up, make sure to ask those type of questions like, oh, how much percentage goes to them? Because you might as well just donate to, charity. You might as well just personally go somewhere and donate your money and your hard-earned money to a charity instead of doing it at a lot of these places. But yeah, no one wants to be running down the street, and I wish I knew what MLM this was because I just find that very intriguing that people would hire individuals to go on the street and do their dirty work because they're too lazy to do it, even though the people did put in the work to find people to interview, to hire people and all of that stuff. But what are they doing? Like, what are the interviewers doing? The people who interview them, the bosses, are they just at the top of the pyramid and they just hire a bunch of people to do the dirty work for them? I mean, it's smart on their behalf, but it's really messed up for everybody else. And I see this all the time. I think I talked about this in a previous MLM horror stories video, but I have seen time and time again when someone gets to the top of the pyramid, which takes work, I will admit, it takes a lot of work, it takes long hours, lots of years to get to the top of the pyramid. And once you're there, I know a lot of people who don't do anything. I know people who hire assistants where they check their DMs, they send out their emails, they sign people up, and everything and all these people do is stand there and be like, yeah, I'm good, you know, I just have an assistant that does everything. All I do is my team calls and that's it. And that's what a lot of people do because they have the money to do that when they get to the top of the pyramid. Like, they just have the money. They're able to do all of that. They don't care. They don't care that everyone under them is just working a lot. They got assistants doing everything for them. And now this person, the person at the top of the pyramid, just has people running down the streets trying to get them to sign up. Oh, my Lanta. That's just horrible. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, wait, actually one more thing because I definitely forgot this. So this person did say she was 18 years old. That's totally common at that age, I feel, especially if you're in school and stuff like that, to want to find a part-time job or something on the side. So I feel it's kind of okay. Like that happens to a lot of people. For myself, I joined an MLM when I was 19. I was very young when I joined an MLM, and it is what it is. A lot of young people get brought into these because a lot of people at that age haven't done their research on MLMs. Personally, from my experience, I'm not trying to like judge people's ages or say people who are at around 18 years old don't know what they're doing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying a lot of people who are that age haven't paid attention. Like, I didn't pay attention to MLM stuff. I didn't pay attention to pyramid schemes. I didn't pay attention to any of that crap because I didn't really care at that age. I was in the military. I had like more things to pay attention to, and then got into my MLM and all of that jazz. So yeah, I feel like it's very common for the younger crowd to get into this, which is why I hope that with having so many people on social media talking about it, there's TikTokers talking about it, there's people on YouTube, there's people who do blogs where they write blog posts, there's interviewers, there's so many people on social media now that I hope that could help the younger crowd, the Gen Zs, you know, like that, really learn all of this type of stuff. So we can move on up. Our young people, we don't have to get them wrapped up into this stuff. So now let's move on to the next one. So this horror story says, the worst it works. Horror story ever. Wow, okay. She goes, hey there, love your channel so much. I absolutely love your take, no BS attitude when you're standing up for others. You don't have to keep me anonymous. Sorry this is long, but it's hard to talk about. So she did give a trigger warning for 3 different things: miscarriages, abusive parents, abusive relationships, and sexual assault. So I guess 4 things. So if at any chance or by any chance, if you are triggered by those topics, I would skip through about 2 minutes until I get through with this story. So here we go. She says, backstory about me. I have a history of choosing to surround myself with toxic people due to my desire to fix others and being used to it with abusive parents, per my therapist. And I was in a long abusive relationship for about 5 years when I had a painful and traumatic miscarriage in 2017. I met my current fiance around that time, left the abusive relationship, and got with him, and we had a baby in January of 2019. And we decided I'd be a stay-at-home mom. After a long battle with postpartum depression, I started looking for ways to make money from home because I felt guilty for the possibility of leaving my daughter with someone else and not making money for the house. Well, my soon-to-be upline found me on a post about at-home jobs, and it didn't take me much to get sucked in. I was very depressed and trying everything to help that. She told me it was the best time to join because the starter packs were only $25. So I paid it, and I was immediately told to start marketing the opportunity. And when my fiance was going to try hustling for me with his coworkers, I asked for the prices of the keto coffee, and she said, don't worry about the prices, they aren't important. Red flag number 1. She told me I needed to leverage my experiences to help people join me. She told me specifically to use my miscarriage, postpartum depression, and previous abusive relationship to find girls to join my team. I couldn't do that. I knew how empty I felt dealing with all of that, and it works was only making things worse. I told her that I wasn't comfortable with that because I'm still emotionally broken from mine even 3 years later. And she told me I had to do what makes me uncomfortable to succeed. After a few weeks, I just felt more and more gross and slimy with posting about products I couldn't stomach and targeting people in the same situations. So I told my upline I couldn't do this anymore, and she tried to convince me to stay when I realized I was, wait, what? and she tried to convince me to stay. And when she realized I was 1,500% out, her response was then, well, enjoy missing your daughter's milestones, which cut me like a knife because she is my rainbow baby. I removed myself from all of the groups and cried for days because I wasn't sure I made the right choice. Fortunately, I found the anti-MLM community and realized this is typical behavior when you aren't making that money anymore. But it didn't make her words hurt any less. Thank you for everything. Oh, that's so sad. But let's get into it. First off, I am so sorry, about everything that you have been through. It sounds like you're so strong and you're going to be amazing with your daughter. And I bet you're going to be the best mother ever. So you're going to be okay. But we see this time and time again. This is a common tactic that is used where uplines will say, oh, use your horrible experiences. And a lot of the times I can kind of see why they say that, because they want people to relate to you. And a lot of the times when I was in Beachbody, I was never told, oh, you need to use your bad experiences to, recruit people or to manipulate people. I was told, hey, you need to use your experiences so people can relate to you, so that you can find your people. And that was the phrase they would always use, and it would really tick me off. They would say, find the you before Beachbody. So I kind of feel like that's what uplines try and say is, oh, find the you for this MLM, find the you before we cured your depression, because that's what they always say. They want to say that their MLMs cure all of this stuff. And sometimes a lot of people won't realize that that's wrong. They won't realize that looking for people that were also vulnerable wasn't the right way to go about things. So I can relate to that just because I had the same thing happen to me when I was in Beachbody. They just said, find the person before you. And half of me can understand why they would say that, because you do want to find people on social media that you relate to. You want to find a community that you relate to, and you want to find people that will support you that have gone through the same things as you. That's kind of what a lot of us do in life, is we gravitate towards people who have gone through similar things as us. So in Beachbody, that's what they would say, like, oh, use you, like find the you before the MLM. So I kind of think that that's what her upline was trying to tell her, like use your experience to find people for you or to find your people. But in all actuality, that's just preying on vulnerable people. Like that's just going out there and searching for sad people, searching for people who have gone through trauma, people who have gone through so much in their lives. And a lot of people in MLMs don't realize that's what they're doing. This is a huge reason why I don't sit here and trash talk people in MLMs or do anything like that, because I feel a lot of times they don't even realize that that's what they're doing. They're just listening to their upline, or their upline's upline tell them to do something. So while it's really, really, really sad, it's a big thing that happens in MLMs. I see it everywhere, and it's really sad that someone's upline would say, yeah, use your miscarriage. Like, could you imagine telling somebody, telling a friend, a family member, like, yep, go out there, that trauma that just happened to you, go use it for your benefit. How nasty and disgusting is that? Like, can I get over the trauma? Like, can this girl get over her trauma first before you start trying to use her trauma for her to gain and for you to make money off of her? Like, come on. So that is going to be it for today's horror stories. Let me know down below, which story maybe you related to, or did you go through something similar that someone else in this story did? I felt like these were a little bit different than our normal MLM horror stories, so I definitely wanted to switch it up a little bit. Also, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Comment below and support the women who shared their stories here today. And then don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload 3 days a week, and I will also be doing Vlogmas during December. I really hope I could keep that promise to you guys. It's going to be very hard uploading 24 videos in the month of December, but I am determined to do it. And also in November, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Friday, I really talk about MLMs. I inform about them, I educate, I react to things, and on Wednesdays are lifestyle content. So whether you like lifestyle content or you like MLM content, I am the girl for you. So that is all, and I will see you guys in Monday's video. Bye.